check, check. Check, check, check. Testing, testing, testing. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Hold on, we're making sure this is going. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go here. We are just making sure we're streaming before we get to it, so let me know if you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys see me? Okay, we are live here. Amazing. Amazing. You guys, we got a good show coming up, I believe, if the Lord is willing, but I think it's going to be a good show. We're going to get into some stuff, okay? See, this is the perfect time where I have to adjust and I don't have to feel like I'm being unprofessional because this is not the actual show yet. You know what I mean? So I'm adjusting here. There we go. Perfect. And, oh, I like how there's a little marker there. Now I can see. There we go. But, yeah, we're going to get into it. So tell your people right now about the show before, as the intro is going. You can watch the intro and listen because it's, you know, it's pretty good. Or multitask. Let's do that. Multitask and tell your peoples about the show and send them the show ASAP because we're getting into some stuff today. You don't want to miss it. So make sure you do it. Tell your peoples right now and let's get started to the show. Here we go. What is going on, y'all? This is the Joel Friday TV podcast. I am Joel Friday. Bienvenido. Welcome to the show. It's another Tuesday. Amazing. Grateful to be here again. It's been amazing. Topics that are going to be covered today. Last week we talked about, let me pull it up here. The only cause for all the world's problems is one simple thing. We talked about it last week. Do you guys remember? Let me know what the one simple thing that's the cause of all the world's problem that we talked about last week. Let me see if you guys are really listening and you remember and you've been reflecting during the week. What was the one thing, chat? Whoever gets it right first, James or one of the mods or whoever's watching the chat in the studio is going to let me know, and I'm going to give you guys a shout out. You ain't getting no prize. You can't get no prize. Can't give you no prize. But I give you a shout out. Who? No, Eccentric. That's not it. Eccentric said pride. Kinda, but that's not the word I'm looking for. Know thyself. No feelings. No. COTZ. COTZ. COTZ says judging. Ding, ding, ding. Judgment. That is the world's biggest, the cause of the world's problems is judgment. COTZ got it. Right on, COTZ. Make sure you guys follow COTZ, wherever he's at. Amazing. So, today's topic, ooh, boy, we're going to get into it. It's what is attractive for women. Let me say this properly. It's attractive for women to be vulnerable to men, right? It's attractive for a woman to be honest and vulnerable and express herself to a man. But is it so for men to do it in response? Should a man also be vulnerable? We're going to get into that today, okay? I got a lot to say about it, so make sure you tell your peoples, and all that good stuff. But obviously, before I forget, because we can't forget, and I appreciate you guys for what you've done so far, but first, hit that like button, smack it. Lay the smack down on the like, subscribe, and share button. Tell your peoples about the show right now so we can get the subscribers up and the message out. It's working. It's moving along. It's getting out there. The subscribers are going up. And I thank you guys for helping me do that. So I hope that you continue to do that. Tell your peoples about it so we can get it moving. You know what I mean? Also, this is a talk show, so you can call in. Don't forget, you can call in. You can call in. You can call in at 888-775-3773, and we can fellowship, we can argue, we can talk about the topics, we can talk about off-topic stuff. You can ask me stuff. We can get into it, right? There is no charge to calling. You can call in, right? Let's do it. I'm for it. All in the name of Jesus. Also, if you cannot call in because it is a weekday and people do got stuff going on and it is in the middle of the day, you can send a comment or a question or just support the show by sending a super chat, which is in the chat box. Okay? So go to the YouTube, go to where the chat box is, wherever device you're on, and if you look in the chat box or around the chat box, you can see where you can send a super chat with a question or a comment, right? So you do have that option. And I appreciate the super chats that have been coming in thus far. You guys are amazing.
Super chats.
Yeah. So let's get right into it, right? Why waste time? You know what I mean? Let's get right. Sorry for my background. It's a little bit, it's kind of cool. The colors always change every week, but that's okay. Amazing. So a lot of stuff just be happening. And was just thinking. And as I was preparing for the show, I was like, what do I want to talk about? And what do we want to get into? And I was just thinking and like reflecting a little bit and just trying to like prepare a show, right? And then it just kind of hit me like this topic of vulnerability, right? Because there's men who frown upon vulnerability. I really don't like that word. It just feels feminine to me, but I'm gonna use it because that's a popular word that the world is familiar with, right? So we're gonna say it. But yeah, it's frowned upon by many men. What vulnerability means, being open, being honest. But then it's also smiled upon by other men to start doing it more, right? They feel that it's productive to a relationship if you do, right? So there's always these two sides, and it's kind of like a battle, but it's not like an outward battle that everybody's like really dealing with. There's other things that people are dealing with, right? But it's kind of like a thing, like a thing between that's within manhood that's still kind of like in the air, right? If that makes sense. And women obviously or hope and wish for a man to be vulnerable. That's what they want, right? They want to be able to know the man. They want him to be honest, right? Women really do want that. But I think that it is more, not more, but I think that in society today, it's more accepted for a woman to be vulnerable to the man, right? It's more accepted, right? It doesn't seem weak. It doesn't seem like improper. Like it seems accepted. And it's also kind of attractive. It's also kind of attractive where if the woman's expressing herself to the man, then the man knows how to deal with her, how to approach her, what she's going through. And he doesn't have to play a guessing game, right? He doesn't have to try to guess it, what she's feeling, what's going on. He can nip it in the bud right there, right? And it's appreciated. So that's what society accepts. But it's not really known or even talked about if a man should be vulnerable also in return to his woman. Ooh, we're gonna get into it today. We're gonna get into it today. So let's talk about that. What's up, chat? How you guys doing? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's good. Okay, so the reason why I think that it's attractive. See, this is my opinion, right? This is what I believe. This is what I believe to be true. I think it's attractive for a woman to share everything she is feeling with the man. I think that it is so attractive when a woman shares everything, right? Because like I said, the man it's actually in the man to know how to deal with what she's dealing with. And it's in the man to help her make sense of everything that's going on within her, right? That's what the man, one of the reasons why the man is there is he's able to bring that logic and that sound mind to her world and everything she's thinking and she's feeling, and he can help bring her to peace, right? He can help center her. So it's good, in my opinion, when they express it, a woman expresses it, because now you know what she's thinking. And 9 times out of 10, arguments and breakups happen due to disagreements or like misunderstandings. So we'll say that. So when the female is honest, and we're gonna get into the man too, but I don't want to reveal too much just yet. But when the female is honest, then you can help her make sense of what she thought you were doing or how she thought you were acting was actually not even true. She just believes into something, or her feelings were telling her one thing, and she believed something that just wasn't true. But when you talk about it, you can solve the problem, right? So I think that is so attractive when a woman gives that, right? And I honestly think women are supposed to be vulnerable to their men. Honest. I'm gonna get tired of that word already. I'm already tired of it, but we're gonna use it. But, are you guys with me so far? Chat, are you guys with me? But a woman can't trust a man. Listen here. A woman can't trust a man if he's not honest in return. Right? A woman cannot trust a man to even express herself if he's not honest in return. But I'm going to tell you, it's a different type of honesty. Okay? And that's what we're going to get into. Because Jesse Lee Peterson, for those who don't know Jesse Lee Peterson owns a nonprofit organization called Bond, and it's a church service. It's a radio show. He has a radio network. He has a lot of things he does by helping rebuild men and rebuild people in general. And he's done a lot of great things, right? And Jesse Lee Peterson has this radio show network, which I'm a part of, which he allows me to use the platform to have my own podcast. So Jesse Lee Peterson, I'm grateful for what he's done for me in my life and the opportunities he's given me to do what I do. So I'm grateful. Jesse Lee Peterson always says, never, ever, 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 ever tell a woman your problems. He always has said that since I've been around. He's always has said that. Never, ever, 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 ever tell a woman your problems. I disagree. And I'm going to get into it, okay? I disagree. Because, yes, women whose hearts are wicked and who are not seeking for change, they will judge you. This is 2 times in a row. What's going on here? Just do this. Just do that. Do the orange one. We're just going to keep this orange background. Sorry, y'all. I don't know what happened. That happened twice in a row. I'm going to get it together. I'm going to fix it. I don't know why that's happening that way. It should have played all the way through. But anyways, yeah, we got it. We're just going to keep this orange background. So it's not going to change colors. So we're just going to stay orange lollipop today. Okay? So, yeah, I disagree. I disagree with that. That a woman, that a man should never, ever, 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 ever tell a woman's his problems. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm not just saying it to say it. Because, of course, yeah, when a woman's heart is wicked anyone in general, right? But let's talk about women. When a woman's heart is wicked and she's not seeking for change, she's gonna judge you, and they're gonna lie on you, and they're gonna twist what you tell them, and they're gonna try to expose you, and they're gonna try to do all these things. They may use it against you. Actually, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna use it against you if their heart is wicked. They're gonna use your quote unquote secrets and gonna use it against you. That's what wicked people do. So I can see why he says never tell a woman your problems, because it could backfire on you, right? But even so, I still disagree. But because I also think that women out there who are ready to be honest with themselves, they need to see your problems. They need to see your problems. And I'm going to tell you why they need to see your problems. We as men are closed off, right? We have a guard up. And we have a guard up because we're afraid of that judgment, right? We're afraid of that judgment. We're afraid that somebody will see the flaws, then misuse them and abuse them and twist them and do all these things, right? So we cover up, right? We're like, no, we don't want you to mess with our manhood, right? But what that really is we're protecting ourselves from being honest. We're protecting ourselves, not even being honest, we're protecting ourselves from being hurt. We're not being fully honest because we're protecting ourselves from being hurt. I won't say this to her because she might judge me. That's protective, right? Because we don't want to feel that pain. We're identifying with what the action may be, right? And in my opinion, I think a guard up, and I'm going to get into it. We're going to get into it. I think a guard up doesn't make you strong. I think it makes you, and this goes for all men, me included. A guard up doesn't make us strong. A guard up doesn't make me strong. A guard up makes me insecure. Because I'm scared that if I be real, if I be honest, that I'm not going to be able to handle what another person might do to that information. I'm protecting myself. I'm identifying with whatever I got going on. I'm not letting it free. And the problem is that we have the wrong idea of weakness. We see it as a weakness, so we won't be honest about it. We're embarrassed about it, and we protect it. And we don't want nobody to touch it. But what we're doing really is we're hiding. That's the whole thing. We're hiding. We're hiding. And then people will try to find your secrets, and then they'll try to expose. That's just what evil people do that. They'll try to expose your thing. But we're only hiding because we have a judgment based off of what we're dealing with is wrong or weak or whatever. But that it's not weak, and I'm going to tell you why. Real strength is men letting go of the judgment of the flaws as a weakness. You have a judgment that your flaws are the weakness, right? It's a judgment. We talked about it last week, judgment. Then, so as an alternative, and I'm going to get back to the point. Stick with me, chat. I know some of you guys probably like, where is this boy going with this? Stick with me. But I'm going to tell you in a second why women need to see your problems, why they need to see it. Okay? So, or was that left off? Yeah, there's a fear. There's a fear of really being honest. But then there's also a true confidence that comes from honesty, right? There's also a confidence that comes from honesty. Letting go of the judgment, right? There's a confidence that comes from honesty. And when we let go of the judgment, we no longer have a reason to hide. So there is a confidence that you feel when you're being honest, and you're no longer hiding because you're confident. And why are you confident? Why? Because you see that, for one, these are things that you just go through. These are things that happen. These are things that everybody's dealing with, right? In retrospect, in the bigger picture, it's all a lie anyway, right? There is no problems. We're just believing the thoughts that we have problems, right? There's no problems when we're in the present, right? But we do escape to the mind. So we all have these problems that we're dealing with. But we all have them. But some people get really good, and I've done this and I do this. Some people get really good at hiding the problems. And on the outside, it looks like everything's all together, right? And shame on the people who put you on a pedestal and make you out to something more than what you are, because that's false. But sometimes we do tend to hide. And I think that's a bad idea. And I think that women need to see your problems because they need to see how you deal with them. Women need to see how you face them and overcome them. Right? If they don't see you also dealing with the things that you're actually dealing with, right? But you're not insecure about it. Now, if you're insecure about it, yeah, it's going to be judged, right? But if you're just confident about it because you understand that it's no big deal, right? You're on your way to overcoming. You mean well. Your heart is pure. You're not trying to be this or trying to be that. But there's a confidence in your honesty, then you can let it free. And if somebody judges it, they're judging it based off of a lie. You're being honest because you see it as the truth. But who can use anything against you if you're not insecure about your secrets? Right? So the goal is to no longer see your weaknesses or your secrets or all these things as negative because you didn't purposely put them there. You know what I mean? But we're always running from things that aren't even meant to be scary. They're natural. Unnaturally natural. I hope I'm making sense. But with that being said, I think it's always still important to be wise. Because I don't want anybody to hear this and just go on the top of a mountain, just like profess all the problems, right? We don't need to do that. But I think it's important that we be wise. We move wisely. And when those opportunities arise, confidently, you be honest. Because everybody's dealing with it, but nobody knows how to overcome it. Isn't that crazy? Everybody's dealing with the same problems. All the same. We're all the same. That's why are we judging? We're all the same, dealing with the same problems in one way or another. But we're all trying to hide and pretend like we're not. And that's Satan's game. Satan made us judge what we're dealing with and judge others, so we'll never be honest. And we'll never be confident, and we'll look down upon weaknesses that don't even exist. They just are what they are. They're not right or wrong. But when we stop judging them, we'll overcome it, and we won't be afraid to be honest. Because people need to see how the world is full of judgment. That's what we talked about last week. All problems stem from a judgment. So if somebody is confident in who they are and what they're going through, and they're honest at the right moments, obviously, they're honest, then somebody will say, oh, that guy has fear. That guy is struggling with alcohol, sex, porn. He's struggling with that. But that's not who he is. And then as they follow you, or maybe later, they see that you overcome it. Or they just watch you overcome it. And they're like, I can do that too. And I know I'm going out on a whim when I'm saying this. I know it, but I'm going to say it. We owe it to each other to be honest in the right moments. We owe it to each other. I'm going to get your calls right now in 1 second. I'm wrapping up the message. But we owe it to each other. And we got to get over the judgment. The judgment is the problem. The judgment is an opinion. An opinion that comes from a thought. The thought that comes from Satan. And Satan, who is a liar. All he had to say to us, I'll use me. All he had to say to me is that, you better not let anybody see that. That's ugly. That's weak. And then he made me insecure. So now, if I come up against somebody who, let's say if I date a woman and she's going to look down upon me for it, and then I say it, and then she looks down upon me for it, then I go deeper into my little dark box. And I was like, and I tell myself, that's why I'm never going to be honest. That's why I knew I shouldn't have been honest. But here's the thing, screw her. Screw her and her judgment. Screw her. Screw him. What is the truth? How about that? What is the truth that you're trying to overcome just like everybody else? But we just have to get over the judgment. That's the only thing that's holding us back is we're judging it as wrong. We're judging it as bad. Am I making sense here? Call in 888-775-3773. Oh, I'm gonna get to some calls real quick, and then I'm gonna finish up that little message there, okay? Because I don't want to neglect the calls. Let me go to Dots, who got the question this morning right about judgment. First time caller out of Canada. Let's go to Dots.
Hey, what's up?
How's it going, Dots? Welcome to the show. You're on the air.
It's actually COTZ, Cots.
Oh, how you say it?
Cots, COTZ, like Cots' Deli.
Oh, Cots. Oh, Cots.
Yeah, but guess what?
What happened?
I'm actually Super Dave.
Oh, so you're in a disguise.
Yeah, because my name got banned on YouTube because I was like commenting on too much GLP stuff, so I had to go to that name.
It'd be like that. I got you.
Yeah, so Joel, I just called in first time quick to say thanks for shouting me out, and you're doing a great job on your show. And it's the first time calling in, and you're doing really well. I'm proud of you.
Right on, man. I appreciate it. I know you had a comment on judging, right?
Yeah, judging is like everyone else's life thinks, oh, we're all perfect, everything else. But then they judge other people, and they think they're better. And if everyone just cut that out, the world would be a better place. You know what I mean? Just focus on yourself.
100%. I totally agree. Just focus on yourself. And then you realize that everybody is dealing with the same thing as you are.
That's right, buddy. And I'm excited for Sunday.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to make the announcement. Well, I mean, most people know, but the people who don't know, I'm going to let them know before the show ends. But thanks for calling, Cots. I appreciate it. And thanks for the comment.
Thanks, man. No problem. Have a good show. Take it easy and always be amazing.
Right on, man. Thank you.
Take it easy.
All right. JC at Little Rock, Arkansas. Let me see. JC, look, let me tell you this real quick before you start. Let me tell you this. I heard through the grapevine you've been causing some problems with some other YouTube channels, and there was like somebody gave me a recommendation to possibly block you from the show, but I was like, no, JC has been pretty cool with me, so I'll let him stay on. But don't make me regret it, man. Go ahead.
All right. I won't let you regret it. I'll be nice. I was calling to be nice today anyways.
Right on, man. You could disagree and, say what you got to say. Just keep it like decent. You know what I mean? So I don't have to,
I'm
risk
actually
the
looking
channel.
I'm actually looking forward to Sunday when they said you're going to be hosting Bond and stuff. I was like, okay, because I've told you have an anointing about you, sir.
No,
I'm really
appreciate
looking
it.
forward. Before I get into my comment, can I give a few shout-outs?
Go ahead.
All right, I want to give a shout-out to Jason from Boston. I've never met him, but that guy's awesome.
Right
of course, Frederick from L.A. Of course, Uncle Tony from California. My boy Chad Rawls is awesome. Mr. Mac, because he gave me a shout-out. And the Baja man. We had a great time on his birthday yesterday.
Right on.
Yes. Okay, so I love your points about actually being vulnerable with women or with your partner or whatever. I think that's actually very important in relationships. How do you suggest that we combat toxic masculinity?
First, tell me what toxic masculinity is, and then I'll give you my opinion.
Okay, so basically, in like my definition, toxic masculinity is like when a man can't be man enough to open up, can't be man enough to be vulnerable, can't be man enough to admit that he cries sometimes. Toxic masculinity is basically that definition of manhood that is like so long past where we have to do everything. We have to always be strong. We can never show emotions or anything. That's part of toxic masculinity.
Okay, so I'm going to address that. Thanks for explaining that. I'm going to address that. So there is a toxic masculinity that weak and insecure and soft people tend to push against men because they're so sensitive and they want people to stop acting a certain way, and they call it toxic masculinity. But there's also a side of it to where men tend to be overly cold and shut off in the name of masculinity that tends to do some damage at times that I do not agree with. So I feel like there's just two sides to it. The people who are really pushing it, like the liberals mostly, the gays tend to push it a lot. They are just sensitive to the way people are speaking. Now, if the man is speaking harshly or offensively, the other person still shouldn't be getting offended to where they have to call him a toxic masculine man and then try to get him canceled. That's just nonsense in my opinion. But I do think that men, like I said, do tend to hold this stature of masculinity that tends to be overly done and dramatic and extreme, and it could actually do some damage from my own personal experience, if that makes sense.
Yes, sir. I think all of us as like little boys, we were all in a weird way taught like toxic masculinity, and then we all had to like grow up from it and stuff. I personally had to like learn and like overcome a lot of different things that I was learning as a child that I realized wrong and everything.
For sure.
In my childhood, I never like openly cried after the age of like 6 or anything because I was always called crying was being girly, was being was the wrong thing to do and everything. And it caused me a lot of emotional damage to not cry so much as a child when I needed to.
Oh,
and now me.
Oh, go ahead, finish.
I'm sorry?
No, go ahead, finish.
Oh, yeah. And maybe you can like relate too. I feel like you might relate to. Did you ever actually cry as a child outside of like a baby?
Well, I appreciate you being honest about it and making the point, but I have to I agree, but also kind of give my opinion on it because, like, for example, yes, I grew up in that way to where it's taught to, like, no, men shouldn't do this and that. So you kind of push down what you're going through, even if you think you shouldn't be going through that because of a fear of what people are going to say. And I think that that's improper, right? I think that you should be allowed to, if you want to cry, you cry. That's just, especially if you're feeling that, you don't want to push nothing away. You don't want to try to avoid anything. You want to let things happen naturally. But I will say, JC, that I think also us as men have to not get confused what it means to be honest and be genuine about what we're feeling, because there's a weak way to go about it. And I don't think we should be sitting up here crying or sitting up here like pouring our feelings out to the women and say, I need help, whining and whining like that, right? I don't think that that's proper. But I don't think we should lie and say that we don't have those feelings and we don't have moments where we want to cry or we don't cry, right? I don't think that, I think there's a confidence that we should have as men to admit to it if that's the case. But we shouldn't be complaining and whining about, oh my, this is so, I don't know what I'm going to do. What should I do, wife? I need your, I think there's like a silliness to, like a silliness to that kind of honesty, if that makes sense.
Right. So for some of those like people who don't believe in like talking with like their girlfriend or wife about their problems, but maybe they can trust their best friends that are men or something, their brothers, even if they're not blood related.
Right.
Do you think that men should be able to be vulnerable or feel comfortable around other men?
Other men and being honest?
Yes.
Yeah, I think, man, like I was saying earlier on in the show, I think that we owe it to each other to be honest. I think we just have to realize when we're afraid to do it, it's because there's an insecurity there. And also, it doesn't mean that, okay, well, now I know I can be honest. Let me just go tell every single last secret or personal thing with anybody and share all of it. But there's nothing wrong with sharing that and admitting to the truth. And you should have a circle of friends to where you could talk about these things, because I don't think it's good to sit there and push it away or pretend it's not real or call it bad. And now you're just going to be depressed. You know what I mean?
Right. And then for like certain people that may want to try to like challenge some of the things that I say, I can always go back to what it says in the Bible. Proverbs 27:17 says, as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. So I think I'm very happy that you are actually telling people, especially, you know, the audience that tends to listen to you, about how it is okay to be vulnerable, how it is okay to let your emotions be free, because bottling up emotions can be much more detrimental in life than actually like releasing them.
It could definitely cause problems, JC, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the comment and good talk. I appreciate you calling in and we're talking. And like I said, you can always, if you disagree on things, you can call me in and disagree, but just as long as we keep it in such a space, I don't get kicked off of YouTube. So thank you, JC.
You're celebrating your friends and your brothers. You all have your back up there, so I will say I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let you go ahead and hang up because y'all don't like the click sound.
We don't like the what?
The click sound, like when I call James, he doesn't like that click when we hang up.
The click.
Yeah.
Well, James knows what sounds professional more than I do, so he might be right. But thanks, JC. I appreciate it. Call me again, man.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right, man. You too. Let me take another call, and then I'm a wrap it up. Let me go to Becca, first-time caller out of Norway. Becca, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Joel.
Hi, Becca. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Pretty good.
good. I just wanted to comment on the whole vulnerable thing.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So, as a woman, I personally find it kind of unattractive for a
Right
man
on.
to
I
be
appreciate the honesty.
vulnerable.
I appreciate that.
I'm not saying like you can never be honest with me about things, but I don't really. It's kind of unattractive when a man whines and complains
I
to
agree.
me. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Okay, I do have a question for you. So I do agree that it's unattractive for a man to whine and complain about his problems. I do think that's a unattractive way of being honest. But if you see a man being a certain way, right, and you ask him, "Are you this way?" and he lies and tells you, "No, I'm not this way," in the name of not showing his weakness, how would you feel about that? How would you view him, or what is your opinion about it?
I would probably, that's worse, almost. Because if I can clearly see that something's wrong and you decide to lie to me, then that's almost worse than just being honest.
And because of what reason? Like why?
It's kind of weak,
to
be honest. In that moment, I kind of find it weak because, if we're in a relationship and we're supposed to trust each other and stuff, and I clearly see that something's bothering you, then you should be man enough to just be honest then and there.
Interesting. I appreciate it. And in my opinion, my take on that, I think that in those are opportunities to just be like, hey, and she may just be trying to test you to see, and then you deal with that too. But those are opportunities for me to be like, what is there to hide here? Now, if you ask and then he says, you know what, I'm so happy that you asked. I don't know what to do. Can you help me? That seems can come off as an improper way to be honest. But if it's just like, I'm not going to lie. I am a little bit nervous to go do this talk. I can't lie. And I've been dealing with this fear, whatever the case is. But then but it's fine. And your attitude is not insecure. Your attitude is not sad and soapy. And
exactly.
You know what I mean? Then it's like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Because you see it on me anyway. You see it on my face. You see that I look this way. So if I lied to you, now I'm looking like a hypocrite. You know what I mean? It's like, that's just my thing. But I appreciate it, Becca, for you calling in and giving your take on that.
Yeah, it was nice talking to you.
Call me again, because it's nice to have a woman's perspective on these things. So call me again.
Okay. I will.
All right. Have a good one. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Oh, calls are coming in, y'all. And I want to finish the message. What should I do? What should I do, chat? I don't know what to do. See, I'm crying. Let me just take one more call. And I'm gonna try to make it quick. Good call so far. But Frederick out of Los Angeles wants to talk about what we're talking about. What's going on, Frederick? How's it going, man? You're on the air.
It's going all right. How's it going, Joel?
Pretty good.
Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes, I can't believe you saying that men are supposed to talk to their woman, be vulnerable. No.
And why not? Explain.
Because, simple fact, if a woman figure you out, you're no more interested to her. You got to remain a mystery instead of explaining to your wife every word and everything you're doing and having to be honest. You know what I'm saying? If she knows her role, she won't even ask you questions. She knows you're leaving.
So
she's blinded by faith. So the question cease. You with me, we going this way. You know what I'm saying? And how you feel people know that they haven't learned to control their anger yet. So women today can't be honest. We're evolving slowly.
Right.
And it's starting to look like what Adam22 is doing. Because if she really wants to be honest and he's being honest, they're going to get judged. They calling it love in their marriage, but who are we to judge?
I know what you're talking. I know who you're talking about now. Well,
Yeah, so do you really want them to be honest? Can you be a man enough to handle your anger if she tells you what she really desires? Or will you leave and be like, I'm not man enough for this woman?
Well, then you leave, though. It just depends on what you're okay with. Like, for example, because you said a couple things I want to address. Like Adam22, it's like if he is not okay with his wife doing that because of whatever dynamic they have in their relationship, not that I agree with it, I don't. But if they do that and he's not okay with it, leave that girl. If you're not okay with what she's doing, leave, right? But if you're married, it's a little bit more complicated. But if she's not willing to change and she's not willing to,
he's not saying he's not okay with it, but yes, I'm saying, all right.
But that's what I'm saying is that, like, if a woman, to me, this is just how I feel about it, is that if a woman, to me, like you said in the beginning, if I say something, if I feel like it's a moment to be honest about something and she doesn't like it and she wants to run, bye. Because my honesty should be a place of where it's necessary to say. I don't mean just to be honest just for the sake of being honest. Like, oh, let me just tell you that I'm sad, or let me just tell you what I'm going through today. No, I'm just saying as a teachable moment or a moment of transparency when it's necessary. But if she's gonna judge me for it, I dodged a red flag. Thank you. Bye. That's just how I see it. Because what mystery? You know what I mean? Like, why does she want a mystery? And there's going to be mystery there for sure. But you also
because you're like her guy. She can never figure you out. That's
but you don't want
them attracted.
Right. But that's such a good point, is that a person can't trust another person. This is what I was going to end my message off. A person can't trust another person if they don't know the person. They're always going to keep that space there because they're afraid to open up. They're not going to know you. So in retrospect,
they know
if
you
a woman,
enough that they're going to be judged by you, so they like, why open up if I know you enough that you're going to judge me?
But women typically are going to look at the man and hope that she can trust the man with what she's dealing with. But if she doesn't know the man and she don't know how he's going to deal with her, then she's not going to trust him and she's not going to open up. Relationships grow just like you grow with a best friend, or you grow with your a sibling, or like a child, or whatever. You grow because you guys have a connection. You guys have an honesty there. But when it comes to relationship, it's like taboo for whatever reason.
I think there's too much conversation going on. We got cell phones. The men back in the day didn't talk to women as much as they needed talking to today. And you are catering to them by talking, emotions, letting them feel and just being in their face.
I agree.
I met where I met, not be where I be.
Yeah.
But now,
I agree with that part.
Let me be honest with you. I'm getting jealous when you do this. Oh, no, they don't want that. They're going to leave you or you can leave them.
But that's the part of the honesty that I don't agree with, that I'm saying I agree with. I don't think that that's a good way to go about honesty. I'm just saying it in a more proper way, so it doesn't look like you're hiding or you're in denial or you're trying to be strong and masculine. I feel like that's weakness as well. So, but
yeah, anytime you think there's a confrontation, you're already losing about. You worried about what the other person's thinking.
Well, let me ask you.
You're already trying to cater to making them happy. You're already losing.
Yeah, you're already. I agree with that. But let me ask you this: so, if a woman sees that you are angry, right, and she sees that you got angry, and then and she asks you, "Are you angry?" Are you gonna tell her no?
Are you silly? Can't you see that I'm angry? I'm in that back room.
But that's
She's gonna know that I'm angry. If she asks a question like that, that's like Hank. In his show earlier, he said this guy asked, "Do you steal?" Like it was a proper question. If you physically demoralized enough to steal physically, you're gonna be able to lie verbally. Like he's gonna tell you the truth if he does steal. yeah, I steal. Like, how you gonna be honest enough to tell you the truth? If he
But you
steals?
still, I agree. But then,
It was a stupid
so then you,
scenario
so
that
are you
thought was
saying?
funny.
But are you saying that you should tell the woman, no, I'm not angry?
Yeah, and whatever.
I
it takes.
disagree
It's best to say no. Let her think.
I disagree with.
It's not.
I disagree with that part, but I do got to end the show. Frederick, thanks for the call. It was a good conversation.
All right.
Call me again. I appreciate it, man.
All right, Joe. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Yeah, I just don't. Let me just end off what I was going to say. Thank you to the callers. I'm sorry I can't get to everybody, but I thank you guys for calling. I got to end the show in a couple minutes, so I got to finish off. I just don't agree with the idea of somebody knowing something's wrong and they say, what's wrong? And some things you maybe don't need to reveal at that moment, right? But if she's saying, are you angry? And you sit up there and say, no, but you're angry. That makes no sense to me. Yeah, I'm angry. What's wrong with admitting to being angry? What's wrong with saying, yes, I am angry in this moment? You don't have to be like, oh, I'm so angry. But what's wrong with saying, yeah, I'm angry? That's the truth. You're angry. Because if you lie, you look like denial and you look like a hypocrite. You're angry and work on your anger. But why are we sitting up here trying to deny it? They see it on your face. Now, the woman don't need to be asking if she knows it's wrong, if she knows that you're angry, right? But I just don't see the purpose of lying. The only reason why I believe people lie, in my opinion, is because they're afraid of what the woman's reaction is going to be or what another person's reaction is going to be. And I'm a victim of that. I'm working on that. But there's nothing wrong with, it's about being real. It's about being real, not sappy and whiny. I'm not saying that at all, but it's about being real. People respect realness. People accept realness. And then you can throw some truth on it. Yeah, I got angry, but I know that I just slipped into my mind. I believed a thought. But you kept it real and you redeemed it. You know what I mean? You will, this is just my opinion. My last thing is you will lose people trying to hide and trying to protect and try to put up this guard. You got to let people in to some extent. You don't got to trust everybody. You don't got to hang out with everybody. But you got to be able to open up a little bit because people want to know you. People want to know who you are, not to judge you. Not all the time people want to judge you, but they want to know who you are. Who are you? Oh, you have, I agree. I relate. Oh, because they want you to be human too. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion, y'all. I got to end because the anchor baby is coming. Oh, super chats. I'm going to be so fast. It's about to be the fastest you ever seen a black man read.
Super chats.
The fastest you ever seen a black man read right now. Watch. So we got super chats. Jesse Lee Peterson says, has Joel Friday TV been smoking pot? Honestly, I thought Jesse was going to call in. I honestly thought he was. I appreciate the donation, though, Jesse. I knew it was coming. Thank you, though. Sion, little black brother to Hake. Shout out to Jesse, Boo, Speedy, Nick Stream, Hassan, Yeezy, Daniel, and Sean. That's right, Sion. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Shout out to them, of course. Prince Vibes. My fear is that my husband will never stop loving his hell, like JLP says. Not all want to turn to the Father. Love today's topic. Arkansas, he black. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate you guys are amazing. I love it. I love the comments. I love the question. I love commenting on them. And I love being able to share it. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. I got to end. announcement really quick. I will be Jesse Lee Peterson. Like I said, he hosts a church service and he will be out of town this week. So he asked me to fill in from. He's probably gonna change his mind now after today's. He's probably about to be like, "No, Joel, I thought I was gonna have you do the church, but So maybe I'll be at church. Nah, but he asked me to fill in for him at church. So if the Lord is willing, I will be filling in for Jesse at his church service while he is out of town. And also next week, I'll be out of town. So I'll be having a guest host for me next week. I won't tell you who. You just got to wait and see. But it's going to be good. So make sure you guys still tune in. Amazing. Amazing. Thank you guys. Follow me across all platforms. Joel Friday TV, The Gift of the Dance. We got some more stuff coming. And follow everybody on the platform and the network. Amazing. See you next time. Bye.